We are on, Tim.
We are live.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. 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 I'm ready.
I don't know. I was trying to do a TikTok dance there for some reason. I don't know. It's not the song that it goes to, obviously. Just don't have that.
I'm about to start doing me some TikTok skits.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I like it. Get on that social media trend.
Yeah, I got a friend. He said he want to do some skits, like country rain skits. And I was like, yeah, we can do that. So we're gonna start as a TikTok and do the skits and stuff.
I like it.
Yeah.
I will say it is very addicting, so be very careful.
I'm gonna be addicted to doing the videos.
You're going to be addicted to all of it. It's literally like crack cocaine in the social media world.
I know it. That's why I don't be watching it like that. I don't even get. I don't have a couple hours to get caught up on it.
Oh man, yeah,
I just bypass it.
yeah. It's fun though. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
I know it's fun. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be on TikTok 2023 doing some little skits. Y'all watch out for SSG. Yeah, no.
SSG coming on TikTok. I like
my acting skills.
Nice. Break out that the old junior high and high school acting drama classes. I like it.
Yeah, and college.
And college too. Look at you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Tim.
So, Mona.
It's a possibility that you're going to be, okay, y'all, look, now I told y'all this class sold out for this December 17th, 18th class, but it is a possibility the Oracle wife have gave him permission to stay for this class.
We call her God.
No, okay, she God, but your dad Almighty. Okay, what's
I don't know. We gotta figure this out.
Has gave the Oracle permission to come and help us with the seal system class December 17th. Look, y'all, it's gonna be a bigger class, so y'all go ahead, email me, or I'm opening registration up online. Y'all want to get in it because we'll have more than one instructor there. We're gonna have Tim. Oh yeah, don't be looking at my nails. I'm busy.
What's wrong with your nails?
They need to be done.
So do mine. Actually, I've never had a manicure, which is probably not a bad thing. But I honestly, between you and me and everyone watching, I love a good pedicure. Oh, it feels, guys. If you have never gotten a pedicure before, treat your wife, grab your significant other, go get her a pedicure and sit there with her. Get her a coffee, get her a favorite magazine, whatever. As she sits there, and you get one too. It's freaking life changing. It is amazing. I can understand why women like it so much now. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, most men like it. Most men like their pedicures. They do. I mean, it's all right for me. Like, I don't know. You know, going to the nail shop is supposed to be like a relaxing experience, self-love and whatever. And I was like, look, I got to go. Look, I can't be sitting here 2 hours. Y'all need to hurry up.
Come on.
All right. I can't even enjoy it because I was trying to get to what I need to be doing. Like, yeah. So
yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, because usually I'm doing it like in the middle of my day. Most of the stuff, you know, my time from my me time, I normally do that like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
See, I'm the same way. That's usually when I do it too, except when my family is all down with the flu, and then I just, it's no good. It's no good.
Right. Yeah. So when usually in my house when we get the flu, it will go all around. Everybody gets sick except my 19-year-old. He's never been sick. Everybody got COVID. He didn't get COVID. Everybody got the flu. He's never been sick in his life.
Wow, that's impressive. Well done for him. He's got a good immune system then.
All right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's the only one. My little 15-year-old poor baby. They used to be sending him home with the little fever thing. Like, look, he can't come back for 24 hours.
Yep. Non-stop fever breaks. Yep. Fever free 24 hours. That's where we're that's where we're at right now. So we're hoping everyone gets to go back to school tomorrow.
Hope so. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But what we talking about today? Truck stop, being out there in that traffic. Look,
Being traffic drivers.
Road rage.
Road raging and drivers, yeah, because it's not something you normally would think would come up on like an appliance training podcast, YouTube event. But let's be realistic. You guys are out in your truck all day long, right? You get cut off. You get road rage. Someone has road rage against you because you're driving too slow, or whatever the case may be. If you guys haven't already. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But one of the first things I would say is if you guys haven't already, invest in some type of like GPS tracking system for your trucks. And not only because it will, those will sometimes alert, depending on what you get, will alert the authorities in case if there's an accident. But it also tracks your speed in case you get pulled over. Like I can't tell you how many times I've been pulled over for speeding, but when I show them, nope, according to my GPS, I'm right on the speed limit. You tag somebody else and you pulled me over. Yeah.
Wait a minute now. Wait, now what you talking about?
So cops, when they get their little radar guns out, right?
Right.
So depending on where you're at, obviously, like the bigger cities have the more sophisticated stuff, like Atlanta or Phoenix or LA, that they can actually pinpoint the actual car. But for a lot of the smaller town places, especially if you guys are out in the suburbs or whatever, a lot of the smaller town systems, they still have the older radar equipment. So they just pick a car, they tag the first car or the car that's speeding, it pops up. And then if you're in like a group with traffic, they would just pull over whatever car they can pull over.
Right, I know, but how your GPS tell you what you was going?
Because your GPS has a speed limit on it. Like even if you open up Waze tells you how fast it goes.
On it, but are you if you're stopped now, so the cop is taking your word for it? Like my GPS said I was going this, or your GPS still shows like what you were going? Depending
on the GPS system. You can, in some of them, you can open it up, or you can pull the recording down of what you were doing. So by the time you actually go to court, you can pull down the recording. You can download the recording of what you were actually traveling at that time, and prove it to the court that you were not speeding. But mine, I have the little State Farm.
That didn't work for me because I'm usually speeding.
Yeah, so am I. But there's one time I wasn't though. But I have the little State Farm tracker thing, right? And I can actually pull down the map, and it will actually show me the points at which I was speeding and which I was not. So I can actually pull up and open up and say, nope, there's where you pulled me over. I wasn't speeding.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. But when I'm not speeding, I don't speed as much as I used to though. But I do have, I don't really have as much road rage, but I'm telling you, the last couple of weeks, this roundabout by my house has been my biggest stress.
Roundabouts are tricky for Americans. Yes.
It's been my biggest stress. I'm like, y'all jokers do not know the rules of a roundabout.
So what are the rules of the roundabout? Or what do you think the rules of the roundabout
are? The rules I thought was, okay, because I'm like literally cursing people out. Like I'm just going when I'm supposed to go. And I'm like, look, you ain't going to yield. You're not going to yield. You got a whole yield. So like, I'm like stopping, like going off on these people. Okay. Because I'm like, so I'm thinking, like, I know that you have to yield to the traffic that's in the circle. Okay. I know you have to yield to that traffic. So I'm thinking if there's no traffic in the circle, the roundabout works like a stop sign. So whoever get to the yield sign first, go. So I'm at the yield sign. You just come running through your yield. I'm like, you ain't gonna stop. You just ain't gonna stop. You ain't gonna yield at all. You got a whole yield. I'm talking about, I've been cussing people out for like 3 weeks. Then I finally looked it up.
Then I yield to the left.
Yes. I finally looked it up. and it says you yield to the traffic to the left. So I'm like, God, this whole time I've been wrong. I said, people been looking at me like this chick.
You yield to the left.
You yield
Yes.
to the traffic to the left. So it don't matter if I got to the yield sign first. They can just come straight through their yield sign because there's no traffic to the left of them.
That's correct. Yes.
And you won't believe that's been my biggest stress right now.
Okay. Okay.
Now I'm not stressed no more because now I know that when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. You know, I'm usually wrong once or twice a year. So when I'm wrong, I say.
All right. So here's a question then for you. Then here's a question I got for you.
Mm.
You are coming up to a stoplight. Okay, you're coming up to an intersection with a stoplight in it. And the light is green. All of a sudden, it turns yellow. You continue to go through the intersection. But whether it be a red light camera or a cop sitting there or whatever, you get a ticket for running a red light because the light apparently turned red. According to them, according to the officer or the camera, the light turned red before you entered the intersection. So my question is, where does the intersection actually start?
After I get through the light. So
after you get through the light, that's where the intersection starts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my whole thing is like if I go on yellow, as long as it's still yellow as I go through and I don't never see red, I have not run that light. If it never changes, if I can make it through while it's still yellow, I don't see it turn red at all. And I ain't gonna say I ain't ran a couple red lights, okay? Because I'll be lying. But I don't consider me running a red light if I can get through while it's still yellow. Like I don't ever see red.
Okay. Interesting. Do you think that would hold up in court?
I mean, when do the intersection start? I mean, if I get to the light, I should be in the intersection.
The intersection starts at the gutter. The gutter. So if you're at an intersection, like let's say you're in a town or a city and there's a sidewalk, right? You know, the little gutter where the water runs down the side of the street or on the side there, that right. Gutter line. They extend that all the way through the intersection. That's where the intersection starts. So if you are not past that imaginary line before that light turns red, you will get a ticket. So it doesn't matter. The painted lines don't count. The intersection or the crosswalk lines, the little stopping line, those don't count. It's even farther ahead. So you have to get actually through that gutter area. Your tires have to be through that gutter area to be through the intersection or into the intersection before that light turns red.
So I got to pay attention to where the gutter lines are because I've never even paid attention to that.
I have been to traffic school more times than I would care to count, unfortunately. So I've learned all of these rules many, many times. I even know how the freeways are numbered and why they're numbered the way that they are. Like all the odd numbers go north and south. All the even numbers go east and west. And if it has if it's let's say I-40, right? I-40 goes across the country east to west. Mm-hmm. If it's like I-240, that means it's an off branch of I-40 and it has a 2 in it because there's 2 entry points on that loop or on that extension branch of I-40. Yeah, I've been to traffic school a lot.
What are you doing going to all these traffic schools now? I haven't been to traffic school a lot, but I've been to traffic court a lot.
Listen, I was 16 years old. And for my 16th birthday, I got a car. And the only reason I even got this car was because I helped my uncle build the car and kind of rebuild it from scratch. It was a 1974, I think it was, AMC Hornet. And it had a big block Chevy in it. Yeah, not a good car for a 16-year-old boy.
All right.
got lots of speeding tickets and lots of So many days in traffic school.
Yeah.
Accidents.
Oh Lord.
Probably the worst accident I would say there's 2 accidents rank as probably the worst accidents I've ever been in. One was I had a car full of teenagers with me. We were going to a church function and I ran a stop sign and I T-boned a pickup truck, pushed the truck into a telephone pole. Telephone pole came down onto the truck. One of the teenagers in my car went through the windshield and landed in front of the car.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a bad, but no one in my car had, even the kid that went through the windshield, he had one little scratch on his forehead. That was it. No one was injured in my car.
Wow.
And then the other worst accident I've ever been in, I dropped a girl off from a date and she lived on a cul-de-sac. So I went to the end of her street, turned around and came back. As I was coming back, I reached down to get a drink of my soda that I had in the console there. Well, when I did that, my hand went with me. When I bent over to get it, my hand went with me. And I kind of veered and I rear-ended a parked car that was owned by a cop whose wife just got home that afternoon from having surgery right across the street from the girl's house that I just dropped off.
Oh Lord.
Her whole family came out and her dad was just laughing at me. And I'm sitting on the curb. 35,000 cops all showed up because it was a cop's wife. Yeah. So 35,000 cops showed up. I'm sitting on the curb, trying to hide myself from her family. Yeah. Needless to say, she got ghosted after that. I just disappeared. I was 17 at the time. I mean, come on, man.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't believe the accident when the guy went through the window, only got one scratch. I was in an accident. My cousin, she went through the window and all her skin was just hanging off her face like this. Like her skin was hanging off her face and she had to get plastic surgery. I'm the only one in the car that didn't get hurt.
Someone upstairs, the Almighty, was looking out for us because even the first responders that showed up were like, we don't understand how you guys are still alive, because basically none of us were buckled up, number one, to begin with.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Number two, when we T-boned the car, I didn't just run the stop sign a little bit. I hit that car at 65 miles an hour. I T-boned that car at 65. And the engine, there's a little Plymouth Acclaim. The engine actually, because how we hit it or what happened, someone was looking out because when we hit it, the engine broke away from the transmission and actually, instead of coming through the car, through the firewall into the cabin of the car, it actually turned sideways in the engine compartment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so angels were really looking out for us that day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was God. That was something God.
Something, yeah, yep.
Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, my friend Alonzo that came on here to do appliance repair, and he be in his truck all day, every day. Man, he gets so many tickets. Man, are y'all out there getting tickets or what? What y'all doing? Alonzo gets so many tickets. His insurance, I think at one point his insurance was car insurance was $1,100. Or he had a ticket that was $1,100. But insurance for him is so expensive. Yeah, he done went to court for $1,100 tickets, $1,500 tickets, and that's because he's on these Atlanta streets. He's speeding all day back and forth from one end of Georgia to the other end of Georgia doing service calls all day.
You got to route that better so you're not driving like that.
Oh, I told him that. He don't want to listen to that though.
Oh man,
I told him that a long time ago. I was like, even when I first met him, I was like, look, you gotta, and then because he do a lot of warranty work, and he was like, he was literally, the warranty company was scheduling his jobs, and he was literally going when they scheduled them. So that it doesn't mean like when he scheduled his own. I was like, you can call them customers and reschedule them around your route. And he was doing it. So I don't know if he started doing that. I think he started a little bit, but here lately, like in the last year or so, I see he's still be driving from one end of the earth to the other end.
Yeah, dude, routing is key, man. That's you got to start. And it's up to you how you want to route it. Like, I know some techs, they like to start close to their house and work their way farther out, so they have that drive time coming back. I'm the opposite. I want to start
too.
I started at the farthest one away and work my way closer
because
because though I'm pretty good with customer service, like I need to mentally prepare for customers. So I want to take my time getting there and then work my way closer.
Yeah.
But you got to route that to where
my text too. And so like even today, like I was doing routing for my text, and I was gonna leave it because I told you I hired a dispatcher girl in the office, and I was gonna leave it for her to do, but I just know I can do it way better than her. So especially in Atlanta, it's because like if it's cities, if it's Lawrenceville, Lawrenceville, Loganville, and I gave her not a map but a spreadsheet with everything that's north, everything that's east, whatever. These cities go together. But when you're working with Atlanta got so many different zip codes. You can be in Atlanta and it still be like 40 minutes away, So I knew that I would take the time to go to MapQuest and look and see exactly how far this job is from this one, which I tell her to do it too. Whether she do it or not, I don't know. I guess she'll get better. But
yeah, she'll get better at it. And what really helped me when I learned how to do it was I went online and I actually purchased a map of the zip codes. So I got a map of Phoenix with all the zip codes overlaid on them. So I had it right in front of my computer. I said, oh, okay, so you're in 85207. Okay. And then I was able to look up and say, oh, I got calls in 205, 206, 208, whatever. And they're all kind of clumped right there together. So I dispatched it. Then, someone got, 85348. Well, that's clear on the west side of town. Then, okay, you're going to be on, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are your days. All and right. I just kind of broke that down that way so I can visually see the zip codes.
Yeah. I need to do that for her. Like me and Maps, we just don't get along. Yeah, I'm good on it. I'm good. Like I can't read a map and I just give me ways and I have no sense of direction at all. And I'm like, I know a lot of stuff. I got a lot of books, so a whole lot, but I'll be the first one to tell you I can't find my way out of a paper bag.
Oh, yeah.
I have no sense of direction.
If you want to learn direction, if you want to get a better sense of direction, all you got to do is go spend some time in downtown Pittsburgh and you will learn how to have direction. Because everything is like everything's a one-way street in downtown. Everything's a one-way street. So you got to figure out, and it's not like straight in that nice little grid pattern either. No, it goes around everything and up and around, and it's just a mess. When I was 7 years old, my uncle used to take me to. My uncle had a wrecker business where he'd go and tow cars, or a towing business, and he would take me whenever he had to go into Pittsburgh, because it was my job to get him in and out of Pittsburgh because he would get lost with all the one-way streets or whatever. So you learn real quick how to get a sense of direction driving around in Pittsburgh.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll work for me, man. I just don't know. I never know where I'm going. Like I heavily rely on GPS. When I first moved to Atlanta and before like everybody had GPS, Google Maps, Waze, and all that, I would go to people's house, go pull up MapQuest, write down the directions wherever I'm going, or print it out. Because it took me forever to learn Jacksonville. It took me forever to learn Jacksonville, and I only knew one way to get to everything. Like, don't start talking about nothing. I knew one way to get to everything. As soon as I finally learned Jacksonville, then I moved to Atlanta, and this is a whole nother ballgame.
Like my wife My wife to this day still is like amazed at the fact that she can like spout off an address here in the Phoenix metro area. She can spout off an address, and I'll be like, oh, that's going to be between, Main Street and Broadway on Wrecker, between Wrecker and whatever. And she's like, how do you know this? I'm like, well, first off, the Phoenix metro area is a 1 mile grid. So it's all north, south, east, west. That's it. It's just a big old grid. And you're doing service calls and driving around enough, you learn that, okay, the 400 block or the zeros start at this street, and then the 100 block, and then the 200 block and 300 block. And you just doing 8 to 10 service calls a day, you just learn that pattern of where it's at. And you're like, it just sticks with you. Even to this day, like I'm still spouting off like, oh, it's on this here. And she's like, how do you know this?
Yeah. I just think some people just got good sense of direction, and just some people just don't. Like,
that's a possibility.
I mean, I'm here still. I'm 27 years old, and I still don't have good sense of direction. At the age I am now, I'm 27 years old. I still. Okay, 37. Okay.
I'm not saying anything. You want? I'll believe you. I'm 27 too. There we go.
Right. Yeah. Nah. If I ain't got it by now, I ain't about to get it. It's just no.
But traffic laws are guys riding around in trucks all day. It's important that you guys know those traffic laws, and even if you can, I think this is good. I don't know. I'm not an insurance person. We should talk to, isn't Reggie's wife an insurance person?
Yeah.
Yeah. We should really get her on the show and talk about this, but I would imagine right. They make kids go through driver's ed, right? That helps bring the cost of their insurance down because they pass driver's ed. Like, I think it would work too. Like if you voluntarily made your service techs go to a driver's ed class, right? Even though they already have their driver's license or whatever, but just to refresh, I wonder if it would help bring insurance costs down because it's like a refresher. I don't know. That's a good question to ask.
Yeah, I don't know, because I know one of my friends that has appliance repair business, like a couple of his technicians in like last month or two have been in accidents. So
yeah. And then that's a whole nother ball game because I mean, technically, at least in Arizona, if you have a commercial vehicle like that, you're supposed to have commercial insurance, right? It shouldn't be under your own personal insurance. It should be under business insurance.
Right.
And then that's a whole nother ball game when people get hurt and you get in an accident. Like that's a whole, they just start seeing dollar signs at that point.
Right.
So yeah, driver safety, learn those traffic laws, GPS monitor. Another reason you might want to do GPS monitor though, and this is really big if you don't have a GPS monitor and you have techs, this is why you want a GPS monitor. You can actually pull up and see, and as bad as it is, I hate doing this, but it saves you as the business owner if your techs are running service calls on the side and using your parts and your money to do it.
And your clock, right.
And your clock to do it. Right. So now you got proof that if you do have to end up terminating them or disciplining them, you have proof when it comes to any type of labor laws that you have to think about.
All right. Yeah. So y'all gotta look into it. Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. And while y'all looking into it, go type in www.SSG Appliance Academy and jump into some of them classes. ApplianceAcademy.com.
And yes, it is official because while we've been talking here, I've had a little separate window up here. I have actually rebooked my flights. So I will be there. And hopefully, what time does the class usually get done? Hopefully I picked a good flight. What time?
4:30.
4:30? Oh, I should be good then.
So when you flying out?
Sunday night. So I picked a 9 p.m. flight.
Oh, so you won't be here till Monday?
No, I won't be here for Monday.
Okay, but that's fine. We'll have Vulcan Monday. And we'll have Richard help with that class because they wanted somebody extra to help for the amount of people.
Yeah, the Vulcan boys.
Everybody get efficient hands-on.
The Vulcan boys are good. They can handle that.
Yeah, but they requested somebody else for the amount of people that Reggie wanted to come to that class. Yeah. So, but I can get Richard to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, all right, y'all. Look, we're over time, so y'all get over to Hawaiian's Bootcamp. Check out Mike Sneed over there, and we will see you guys on Monday.
See you guys Monday.
That's all, folks.